Attention, this is a public service announcement regarding airfield safety. When you approach a stop sign near an airfield, safety must be your first priority.
Yo, stop! Back up, we need to check for an aircraft. Good call.
Always stop, then look both ways to check for aircraft. Aircraft have the right of way, and even a moment's inattention could lead to a tragedy.
Kwaj, my name is Steven, and the word of the episode is wave. In Marshallese, wave is spelled N-O and pronounced no. In English, it's spelled N-O and pronounced no. Kwaj.
What's up, Kwaj? My name's Steven, and you're listening to 99.9 The Wave, or should I say, The No.
On January 20th, 2024, a devastating wave struck downtown Roy, causing widespread destruction. Now, 1 year later, we take a look at the island's recovery and progress.
So after the first wave, we all just scattered from the outrigger. We were like, hey, this is not safe anymore, and went and found higher ground. There were a couple people scraped up, like Buck had a cut in his shin, and a couple of people that got pinned underneath the water and they were pulled up. So we grabbed everybody, put them in the back of one of the work trucks and took them over to the hospital. But everybody was in shock, but everybody was going up to the second floor of all the buildings and just trying to protect themselves and protect others.
I was at the outrigger watching the smaller waves come in about 2 minutes before that first larger wave came through, and I got a couple of friends, Madeline Stock and Taylor Ruff, and we just happened to leave the outrigger and head towards the pool in that direction about 2 minutes before. We were about halfway there when that first big wave came over the rocks and covered the entire side of the island in at least like 2 feet of water, a lot higher in other places. So we managed to make it up to the pool right before that wave hit us, thankfully, so we were safe. But just seeing the whole island washed away like that almost, it was very crazy to see. We were very scared. It was all fun and games up until that first really large wave.
The island, after the wave and everything, it was pretty well level. Everything was flat, and it looked like a hurricane hit. It was really bad. There wasn't nothing anywhere, nowhere, and it was terrible.
So yeah, medevacs, they did the best with the resources they had. It would be nice to have helicopters to pull us off island right away, but they made a plan. They got the catamarans up here. They evacuated everybody, and they had a very good welcome party once we got down to Kwaj, and everybody felt welcome. They had places for all the Roy rats to stay, and it was a very warm welcome. It was a complete community. It wasn't contractor versus contractor. Everybody was working together. It was a good time to be out here with everybody coming together after the crisis.
We got down to Kwaj and everything right there. It was really good to see the people when we got off of the ferry and got down there. Everybody was welcoming and so helpful, you know, after what we had been through, and it was very comforting to get down there. It's been a slow process because everything was gone. I mean, it gets a little better each day. The outrigger's back to having things on their menu. We went there this weekend. It's nice to have something where people can go to and, you know, and fellowship and stuff. So yeah, it's been coming back.
The outrigger has recently started serving food, and they had some bands, and it was amazing. So it was good to spend time on Roy. That I haven't had a good night on Roy for a while, and it was good to see it rebounding after a year.
In terms of response and like outlook for after the waves, I definitely think it's going to be like a long-term issue. You know, it's going to be an ongoing thing. You know, an incident happened like this in 2008. This is a similar thing that happened a year ago today. You know, I think the trend's got to continue, and we need to be prepared for that in the long term. The recovery short term has been pretty good over the past year. A little slow but steady, which is very comforting to see. The outrigger's back open, which is fantastic. The food's just about as good as it used to be, so that's been nice to see. But we need to keep looking to the future and long term and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again, you know.
Like the Roy resilience, all the Roy rats, man, they rebounded. They didn't even want to leave the island, man. They when the wave hit, they're like, no, let's get these radars back up and running. Let's keep tracking. You know, everybody was taking off the island to make sure nothing else was going to happen because we had higher tides coming in. So for safety, everybody left. But once we were given the green light to come back, everybody was like full blast. We're gonna make this place happen again. And it was good to see like the radars come up and running like almost immediately after that. People are amazing. Like these guys, they live out in the middle of nowhere. Kwajalene's pretty isolated. And then you go to Roy, which is 50 miles from Kwaj, and it's even more isolated. So props to these guys for just being amazing people and just keeping the job going, keeping the radar tracking, keeping America safe.
You know, as far as for Roy and the improvements and things like this, it happens every day. This is not a sprint. This is more of a marathon. So we're all in it together, and we just all want to be working towards the goal of making it better. And so, yeah, we're optimistic about everything. It's turning out. We're getting more stuff, and we're getting more places open. So it's been very positive.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Oh yeah, Yahweh.
I'm Stacy Morgan, command spouse at U.S. Army Garrison Kwajalein Atoll, which includes this island of Roy Namor. On February 1st, 1944, my grandfather, Private First Class Charles Cook, landed here on this beach, codenamed Green Beach, as part of the 4th Marine Division Invasion Force during Operation Flintlock. Together with the 7th Infantry Division on Kwajalein, they liberated the Marshall Islands and brought us one step closer to the end of World War II. Securing this island was essential to Allied victory, and it was paid for in American blood. Kwajalein Atoll remains today as it was then, key terrain in the Pacific. It is important to the security of our nation, and it is also what it has always been for generations of Marshallese people, the place we call home. It is my honor and privilege to live and work where my grandfather and his fellow soldiers bravely fought, some making the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Let us humbly remember their bravery and fortitude as we commemorate Operation Flintlock and the Allied victory in the Pacific. God bless America, and God bless Team Kwaj, one team.